I'm 6 weeks pregnant. My child's father, he told me, you have to get rid of the baby because I'm married. My poor baby. I'm 6 weeks and 3 days pregnant. And my child's father, all within a day of finding out that I was pregnant, that I may have an ectopic pregnancy, going to the emergency rooms, spending hours and hours and hours getting poked and prodded to find out that my baby's okay and in my uterus where they should be, and my hormone levels are where they should be. So, and within a day of finding all that out, the father of my child said he doesn't want this. He doesn't think this is a good idea, and he wants me to not keep the baby. Let me be very clear that my child's father was very aware of what was going on. This wasn't like nobody was trapped. He repeated over and over and over again how bad he wanted us to have a baby, how bad he wanted me to have a baby, how bad he wanted me to get pregnant. And then I get pregnant and he's like, no. And today he told me, well, listen, you have to get rid of the baby because I'm married. When we got together, thought we were getting divorced. I had requested a divorce. Things was done, I thought, but that didn't happen. And now I'm trying to work my marriage out. So you cannot have my baby. So now here we are. And I'm trying to keep my stress levels down because one of the reasons they thought it was, or wanted to rule out it being ectopic pregnancy, was because I was bleeding and still having a little bleeding issues. I'm trying to stay calm, keep the stress down so I don't harm my baby, but I'm just struggling because I'm trying to figure out why I needed this. Why I needed to be trying to ask God, like, why I needed to be bent and broken and snapped in this way. I was minding my business, y'all. That man was persistent to even get a chance with me. And we were damn near living together. And then to say, and now my poor baby. Poor baby. I didn't want this life for my baby. And you know what? I'm 41. I don't have any children. This is my first child. I didn't ever even think I wanted any. So I certainly wasn't trying to but now it's here. It's just married the whole time. Intentionally got me pregnant. And once I got pregnant, told me, I don't want nothing to do with this. Why I needed to be bent and broken and snapped in this way. I was minding my business, y'all. That man was persistent to even get a chance with me. And we were damn near living together. And then to say, and now my poor baby. Poor baby. I didn't want this life for my baby. And you know what? I'm 41. I don't have any children. This is my first child. I didn't ever even think I wanted any. So I certainly wasn't trying to but now it's here. It's just married the whole time. Intentionally got me pregnant. And once I got pregnant, told me, I don't want nothing to do with this.
Okay, y'all, so that was the video and that was her take on it. Of course, it's never funny when someone is going through something it genuinely sounded like she was really in like a lot of pain, and for that I do feel bad for her. However, choices and decisions, like who you date, vetting that person is so very important. She may have taken the time to ask him, like, hey, do you have a girlfriend? Do you have a wife? He may have just said either he does or he doesn't, or either he do or he could have lied about it. So who knows? It's so sad to hear the way that she's crying. Of course, you never want to laugh at, you know, anyone's pain. I never want to see another woman or another person in pain, and it's really sad the situation that she has, you know, put herself in, come upon, and encountered, because she is pregnant by a man that's married, and she's gonna have to co-parent with him for the next 18 plus years, co-parent with his wife should she decide to stay and be in the picture. So it's just so many different elements here. You know, she's crying after the fact, but you have to like take time to really get to vet people, ask questions. Like at some point you're gonna go over to his place, or he's gonna come over to your place, but at some point you're gonna go over to his place. For you to not be able to go over to his place like consistently, back to back, like something has got to be going on, and you have to be able to like recognize the signs. Like, okay, I can't never come to his place, we always got to go to my place, or we got to meet out. Like something there has to be a little bit strange, and you have to have that radar that kind of like goes off. And it just, I'm not blaming her, but I wonder if she did have some things that were like kind of questionable, and she was just like, you know what, it's a little questionable, but I'm gonna let it go because I like him. And a lot of times as women, we tend to do that, and you got to be really careful with that. She said that he was married, so I'm thinking at some point either he told her that he was married and she was okay with the terms the way that they started out, and maybe she started to develop more feelings, and for her that changed over time. But for him, those conditions and terms stayed the same. Like, you know, I'm married, let's keep this over here. When someone is married and they're going through something, a separation, whether they're saying that they're divorced or they're separated, and you do have some people that are married and they're really separated, so I don't think it's the same thing for all people. But just to be safe, it's better to let them complete that situation and then come back. Like, even as the person that's going through it, if possible, finish that situation, then move on to another situation. Y'all do something different, drop it in the comments below, because I would love, you know, your feedback, your take on it. Like even the part where she's at the end, like saying, my poor baby, you feel bad for her and you do have some compassion for her situation, but at the same time, it's like, where was these thoughts and all of this stuff before? Like, you got to put some thought into it and say, okay, I missed some stuff here. Some of this is my fault. I do take some accountability. It's got to happen somewhere, somehow, someday. And then she talks about like how he was really persistent on getting her, and he was doing everything that he could to show her that he was attentive. He wanted her time. He wanted her emotional investment. Like, he was there, and she said that he was consistent and he was showing up, like making it seem like, okay, if we get together, it's just going to be me and you, and that's going to be what it is. Unfortunately, it does kind of sound a bit like a young mindset, because of course a man is going to tell you whatever he needs to tell you at the beginning to get you in the door. So you have some men that will be more genuine. Naturally, they're built as hunters, so that's what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to tell you all the good stuff that you want to hear so that they can get to the goods, okay? That's just the name of the game. It's been like that since the beginning of time, and it will be that way until the end of time. Just saying that to say you do have to protect and guard yourself. Like, ask that person to prove it to you. Like, okay, if this is what you say that it is, then give them some time to prove that. But if you are just like immediately like you open and everything's just wide open, like you're giving them nothing to hunt for. They are hunters. Let them hunt. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just taking the kill and throwing it out there. So give them a little bit of something to chase. He's going to be persistent in the beginning. He's looking to get something, and it's up to you how easy and how quick you're willing to give it away. it's not just about him being persistent, because anyone can call you a whole bunch of times. Anyone can text you every day. Anyone could make it seem like they're there maybe more than what they're actually there. But it's about how are they going to show up in certain situations should you need them? How are you going to show up should they need you? Your genuine connection overall. As a woman, you definitely can't be so wooed by the first thing that a man say, because on a daily basis, beautiful women have men telling them every day, oh, you're beautiful, you're this and you're that and this and that, you know? So if you let all of that just go to your head, you'll find yourself in a lot of situations like where you're constantly getting played, or this guy is coming and spending a few days with you, a night or two, you know, and he's on to the next. So you have to make sure that you are not gullible, that you don't just melt as soon as a guy tells you that you're beautiful, you look nice, you smell good, and your hair is pretty. So self-love, confidence, all of that definitely plays a factor. So now that he's decided to work it out with his wife, he and she are going to be co-parenting and raising this child for the next 18 plus years. The wife is going to be involved in whatever capacity that she wants or she chooses to be involved in, because of course she doesn't know the dynamics of their relationship, which has absolutely nothing to do with her. It's a very sad situation. Sometimes you can, I'm not even going to go so far as to say, well, she should have took time to get to know him better, which actually you do got to take time to get to know someone, because I think some things are avoidable. Like I said, if a man is married, it's going to be some telltale signs there. Like, it's hard to just go through a whole, really to me, like a whole 3 months to not notice like something is off. If he's married, he's not going to be answering his phone after a certain time. He's going to be home by a certain time. It's just going to be some telltale signs there that I would think that you would pick up on. You know, meeting somebody like when they're in a separation, when they're going through the divorce process, is just so tricky, because like I said, they could be genuinely ready to move on. However, it could be a go back thing. It could be I'm completely done. You just never know. So you kind of taking a 50-50 gamble there. Like, even in what seems to be like some of the most definite situations, like I say that you have to be really careful with. Like, even with Remy and Papoose, to me, not Remy and Papoose, but with Clarissa and Papoose, I just feel like they got to be careful with that situation, because it's just like playing it and cutting it so close. So you have, well, actually Papoose might be officially divorced now. And I don't know, they did kind of go a little crazy on the internet, so maybe that ain't about to be no thing. They probably ain't about to get back together the way they was going in on each other. So, you know, never mind, moving along. But I'm just saying that to say you do have some couples that say, okay, we want to get this divorce and I'm done with it. And they probably can't even stand each other. And then after a few months, they done had time to settle down. They done had time to really think, reflect on what they doing wrong, what I could have did different. And now they started thinking and get to texting and liking pictures. And now, boom, they back talking. And now it's like, well, maybe we could work it out. And you're like caught up in the middle of that. So that's just an emotional drag. And like, no one wants to be caught up in that. So just out of respect for yourself, out of love for yourself, I would say wait until that person has completed whatever situation they need to complete, and then you choose to be in the picture or come back in the picture, or whatever you guys choose to do at that point. So hopefully she can take this as a learning lesson. It's such a hard lesson. It's such an unfortunate, lesson. No woman wants to raise her kids alone. I'm sure no man probably does either. When you get with someone, when you think having children, you're looking to do something like that with a person that you're ready to settle down with, that you're ready to create a family with and be with forever. So not only is this on her, though, a lot of times when situations happen, people are placing accountability on the woman, but he didn't speak out as vocally as she did. But for him and his situation with his wife, I'm sure this will be a major hurdle for them to get through as well, because to come through off of a break, off of a separation, and now not only do we have to reconcile, there's an extra layer being added. We have to reconcile, and we also have to figure out how to deal with a baby that was created by you, my husband, the husband. And that's just a whole different dynamic, So not only for her, for them as well, for the husband, some learning here. A lot of men think that if something doesn't work out, I could just go here and play around a little bit. Okay, you can go and play, but if something happens or that other woman gets pregnant, that is a whole nother responsibility that you now have to deal with. And a situation that was once, this woman was once your release from your wife who was giving you a headache at home. Now, not only do you have your wife who's giving you a headache at home, you now have this other woman over here with the baby. She's going to want money. She's going to want this. And okay, you could go out and get another relief, but do you really want to add more money, more headache, more to the pile when you could just think and use your big brain instead of your little brain? Right? So it's just reflection for everybody on both ends. So this is definitely going to be a valuable learning experience for her. Hopefully she takes it and she grows, and you know, it's going to be some painful days in there, but it's a part of life. We all go through it, and I'm hoping that she goes through it and grow through it. I'm sending you guys peace, love, and positive vibrations, just positive energy. It's so much going on in this world now, y'all. Keep y'all self protected. Just stay safe out there.